Hello and welcome to the Amazing Nerdiverse. I'm Jeff Grant.
I'm Stephen Tukert.
This is the podcast where we talk about all things dark arts. We teach you dark spells and dark black magic and
exorcisms,
sacrificing living beings and using their blood to give life to horrible demons and things.
Yeah, like those spooky teenagers you see in like a scary movie when they're like at a graveyard doing satanic stuff.
Yeah, like Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Yeah.
That evil bitch. No, this is a podcast where we talk about all things good and geeky that make up the Amazing Nerdiverse. Talking movies, TV shows, video games, comic books.
I'm Stephen Tukert.
That's wrong. You had your brain rebooted for a second. All right, so this week podcast has been kind of sporadic lately. We haven't been able to stick to a regular schedule.
It's only because we don't care.
Yeah. No, we've been busy. Both of us working a lot. Mm-hmm. We finally can tell people one of the things you were working on. It was released, the promo, the Jumanji spot.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
You want to talk about that for a second? Like, you can actually talk about it now because it's out.
Yeah. I just wish like I had more to like other than like. Well, I got a call the day before. Like my agent was hey, would you be able to do this thing? He didn't really tell me a lot about it.
Did you know it was a commercial?
I knew it was an Amazon Prime commercial. That's all I knew. Okay. So I walk into the big, what do you call it? The set? Yeah. Well, I know that, but I mean like the big warehouse studio.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Onto the lot, whatever it is. Yeah. The big warehouse thing. And then like
is that the big studio lot that like I've never seen it or anything?
Yeah.
Have you been there more than? Is this the first time there, or you been there before?
That's my first time there. Yes.
Yeah. Nice.
So when
I been there since.
So I walk into the thing, and like off in the distance, I just see Jack Black. Well, I hear a voice that I'm like, is that Jack Black? Yeah. And I look off and I see Jack Black, The Rock, and Kevin Hart. Yeah. I'm like, oh, this is for Jumanji because they're wearing their outfits. Yeah. So in the commercial, it looks like you're not like really like on. Right. You're not like in the scene in the set together or whatever. It looked like that could have been done separately. Right. But they were there when you were shooting it. They were there when they were shooting. Yes. Yeah. When I was shooting it.
Yeah. So you got to meet them?
Very super briefly, as they finished up their stuff, and as they were walking out, they just kind of said hi. Yeah. Because the director was like, "Oh, that's the guy playing the whatever," and they're like, "Hey." Yeah. And I was like, "Hey," and then that was kind of about it.
This is our Steve Walker.
Yeah.
Cool, but they were nice.
Yeah. They just seem like they're, like the way that they are portrayed in like other movies and stuff. It seemed like their personalities, but just like toned down to just being normal.
Just being normal people.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's like they were just super, just like.
I mean, that's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were just nice.
You did a commercial with somebody that you've loved your entire life, like Jack Black has been. You know, Tenacious D, and you've been a huge fan of his your whole life. Mm-hmm. The Rock, I mean, who's not a fan of that guy? That guy's amazing. Mm-hmm. And I love Kevin Hart. I think he's hilarious. Yeah, I don't know where you stand on him.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah, I love Kevin Hart.
He's funny.
Yeah, so Karen Gillan wasn't there?
She wasn't there when I got there.
Oh, so she probably
She might have been there, but like she was like leaving. Yeah. Okay, so they left because like they each did. It was like kind of like they went because it must have started with all four of them, and then it went down to three of them, and then Kevin Hart left, and it was Jack Black and The Rock for just a minute. Yeah. And then, like, they left.
So just kind of shooting their close-ups and stuff.
Yeah, stuff like that. But then after they did it, like, the regular, what do you call them? Like, the regular kids at the Jumanji, like, they turn into... Yeah. Like, they did their bits, and then it was me. So I was there for a while, just watching everybody else.
That's cool, though. Yeah. You got to hang out?
Mm-hmm. Got to hang out. Just... It was weird. Like, I had never felt so... where I'm supposed to be, like being on a movie set, but also felt alone. Because it was just like, I didn't, like, there was no one else that I knew. Yeah. So it was just me, like, just,
like, when are they going to figure out I don't belong here?
Right, exactly. Get this fraud out of here.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that because that's cool. We can finally talk about that. That's one of several things that we've been up to. We've been doing, You know, I just been working a lot. I don't have any exciting stories like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's cool. All right, so yeah, I wanted to talk about that. Now, there's a couple of news stories that I wanted to talk about before we get into talking about a couple of movies and TV shows. So, real quick, let's jump into a mini version of the news from the Nerdiverse. All right, so the Avengers Infinity War trailer dropped. Finally.
Yeah.
The first they showed a version of it at D23 and San Diego Comic-Con, and we've just been sitting waiting for this whole time for us to finally get to see it. This is a different version of that trailer.
It is.
Like, there's a couple of things different in it. There's some shots that I know are in both, like the Peter Parker, the spider sense thing. They didn't.
Yeah,
really...
I read the description of what it was a while ago, so I know ish what kind of stuff would be in it.
The thing with Loki in the cosmic cube. What else? I mean, I know you saw Captain America with the beard. Yeah. Just quick shots and stuff. Oh, Doctor Strange and Tony and
Broing out.
Yeah, the Science Bros, Science and Magic Bros.
I feel like what I'm getting from the movie is they're just gonna be like, all right, let's go. You know what I mean? There's not gonna be a lot of setup to, because that's what they've been doing for the past 10 years.
Yeah.
So we don't need it. They can just get to fighting.
10 years of setup.
They can start fighting. I mean, we don't need story. I don't need it. Not for this. The
Iron Spider suit. It's not the one from the comics, but it is an Iron Man like a hard shell kind of like Spider-Man suit. Looks cool.
Yeah, I like it.
I remember when Homecoming came out, I was like, that doesn't really mean anything to me, seeing that suit there, because it's not something from the comics. You know, like it's supposed to be the Iron Spider suit, but it doesn't look like the Iron Spider suit from the comics that was all red and gold and had those crazy spider legs, which we don't know. This suit may have those crazy spider legs too, but we just haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
Kind of hope it does, just to make it
neat to see.
Yeah, just as like I recognize it as something from the comics.
If his other suit had a whole bunch of stuff, I would imagine that this one would have like more.
Yeah,
you know.
See, like I don't mind this costume. I think it looks great. Actually, I think it looks really cool. But to me, my problem is if you show me something that is supposed to be a version of something from the comics, then it should look like something from the comics.
Yeah.
Now, because Tony Stark has given because Tony Stark has given Spider-Man a costume in the comics before, there's precedent for it. So I kind of want to see that version. But if you say that never happened in the comics and that was just something they were doing just for the movies, I'd be like, fine, yeah, that looks cool. Like, it looks awesome. It's just like just a movie thing. But I don't know. Like,
I get it.
Yeah.
But
I mean, honestly, I think the suit looks better than the Iron Spider suit from the comics. So
yeah, I
guess that helps it a little bit.
I like the glowy eyes.
Yeah.
What I don't like is seeing Spider-Man get chokeslammed by Thanos.
You don't?
I don't like that.
Why?
Because it's Spider-Man.
I know, but
especially this version of Spider-Man, like, he is way out of his element.
Way too young to be sloshed around by
He's way out.
Giant purple monster man.
Yeah, it makes me feel awful. And Iron Man got decked. Like, he hit the ground hard.
Gave one of them big show KO punches.
Yeah, just
the world.
Like, oof. Like, Tony Stark should be dead by that punch.
Yeah.
Like, I hope it's one of those things where he's not in the suit at the moment.
Where they just, in the commercials, they put the suit over him just to kind of like, that's just, we don't want to give away that he just gets his neck broken with a single punch. God. That's how Tony Stark dies. Dude, that would be like, set up Thanos as like a beast if he just one punch kills Tony Stark.
Do you have any theories?
Well,
for like,
there's one that's no longer a theory. It's straight up. They show you in the commercial and they're in the trailer that's going to happen, and that's Vision.
I don't like that either.
I don't either, but like, because here's the thing.
Vision's kind of my boy.
I love Vision.
Yeah.
And I love the Vision Scarlet Witch relationship. I love how they've slowly developed it over a couple movies, and it looks like they're going to continue to develop that in this movie. But I don't want, like, I knew it was gonna happen in the movie, but now, like, they should have put it in the trailer.
Is it like getting up to that episode of The Walking Dead?
Where you know like Glenn's gonna die?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, right?
Yeah, but for me, they had 100 episodes of Glenn.
Right.
And this, he's been Vision for
Age of Ultron
and
Captain
Civil
America,
War. He's
Civil
been
War.
Vision in 2 movies.
Yeah.
And like I love that character. Like there've been characters, yeah, like I like all the characters. I don't want to see any of them die. And I never want to see them die because I love seeing this continuing stories, but some of them were going to die. And Vision's not the one I want to see go yet.
So I read a thing where Kevin Feige was like, so after Avengers 4, it's going to be like, we're quote unquote starting over. Mm-hmm. Not starting over, but like that chapter is over.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I was trying to think who would probably be going. And I was like, I think the big 4 might go. Because they could
All
go.
4?
All 4.
I don't think all 4.
I don't know, man.
I don't think Hulk's going anywhere. And I don't know. Because, like...
Tony Stark is definitely going to die. And we know that.
Yeah.
Homeboy's done.
See, with the other 3, though, with Cap, Tony Stark, and
Thor can be someone else.
That's what I'm saying. With those 3, all of them can be someone else.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't even have the hammer anymore. But there's precedent in the comics for Lady Thor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm...
There's Bucky or Sam have both been Captain America in the past. Mm-hmm. And so you could have either of them become Cap. And then Tony Stark, there's that Ironheart, I think.
Riri Williams?
Riri, yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know much about her because she's really new. Like, she's super new.
Yeah.
Like, Bucky as Cap is, like, something that goes back at least 10 years at this point after Civil War. Like, when the death of Captain America, Bucky became the next Cap. So, I mean, honestly, like, at this point, like, I don't want to see any of them go, but at least some of them have been super established and had a longevity in the cinematic universe. Mm-hmm. Like, Iron Man's been in, like, 7 films at this point.
Yeah.
3 Iron Mans, 2... Well, this will be his 3rd Avengers, so that's 6. He had a cameo in Incredible Hulk. He was in Civil War, and he was in Homecoming. So that's 9 movies.
Yeah, it's time to...
Yeah. I wouldn't mind. I mean, I don't know. I mean, then again, like, I don't know. We might see a couple of deaths in Infinity War, but I think we're going to see more in Avengers 4. Yeah. Yeah, which we don't know what it is yet. And I'm curious to see what it is.
I'm thinking Cap's going to die. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking Iron Man's going to die. Those 2 definitely. Mm-hmm. And then...
I see Tony Stark, I don't want to see him go because I like him funding the Avengers and all that stuff and, like, paying for it. And there's stuff you can do with Tony Stark where he becomes, like, the Secretary of Defense and stuff like that. And he takes on more of a... Where Tony Stark is the one doing the good and he's not as much Iron Man. Yeah, but then
Robert Downey Jr. would have to still...
Yeah. But the thing is, like, the thing with Robert Downey Jr., as far as the character goes, like, you know, it's not like a Ben Affleck thing where, like, you can only play these characters for so long. When he's Iron Man, he's just in a chair, pretty much in an all-black room. Like, it's so easy for him to be Iron Man.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, just for the ease of that alone, like, I'd give him more time as that character.
You know what I feel I want them to do it this way. And I think Ant-Man could beat Thanos.
Yeah, I know. I know your theory.
I already told you that.
Yeah.
Where he just hops in his ear and just...
Yeah, grows super
crawls into his brain and just...
He's like, Jackman!
Just...
Yeah. I don't know.
You know what would be great, though? If in the trailer that we saw, like, what if Ant-Man is in some of those scenes? Yeah. But he could be on Cap's shoulder while they're running towards the camera.
True. Did we see Ant-Man at all in the trailer?
You don't see Ant-Man, you don't see Hawkeye.
Yeah, I noticed you didn't see Hawkeye. I forgot about Ant-Man.
Ant-Man could be there anywhere.
Yeah.
Could just be on someone's shoulder or, you know, hanging around.
Cool. You let me borrow Identity Crisis.
Yeah.
And reading that one, I keep, like, forgetting the Adams in it because he's always standing on, like, Hawkman's shoulder or something. So, like, it's just funny, like, oh, yeah, there are 6 members of the thing. He's standing there, and I was like, they say there's 6, but I only see 5. Oh, yeah.
Like, getting to the end of that trailer, I was like, God, they're going to need some help. And then literally, like, it cuts to Thor going, like, who are you guys? Yeah. I was like, whew, good.
Yeah, you got the Guardians in there.
You need some help, bro.
Like, I'm really excited to finally see them interact with the rest of the universe. Like, every other character has at least interacted with one or two characters. Like, you know, obviously Black Panther was a part of Civil War.
I like that
and
part where he's
Spider-Man.
like, "Get this man a shield."
Yeah,
That's cool.
He's got the beard.
He's letting him borrow. It looks like he's letting him borrow some something on his hands. Something on his arms, like extra super Black Panther gloves.
Well, in the comics, at one point he has like a shield, like a holographic, like a hologram shield that I guess somehow works. Maybe that's some Wakanda technology and
That would
stuff.
make sense.
And they also did that in. I think they've done that in Agents of Shield, because Coulson loses a hand. And he gets like a robot hand and stuff, and it can do all kinds of stuff. And one of the things it can do is make a cap shield. And because he's a big Captain America
that makes
fan.
sense.
I want to see, dude. I really want to see Coulson in this movie or the next movie. Like, just do it. Just finally have him
the
come.
one that beats Thanos.
Oh, wouldn't that be amazing?
Yeah.
If he went out like a bitch when Loki killed him, and then now he's like, you know what? I got your number, purple guy. Yeah, that would be really. I just want to see him in it. Maybe even if it was just him, that'd be great. But like, I would love to see him and Sky, or like Quake or Daisy or whatever the fuck you want to call her. Like him and Quake, because she's a big character from the comics, and it would just kind of be cool to see her as part of that world, because she's a big part of S.H.I.E.L.D. in the comics and stuff.
What do you think's Loki's deal?
I think Loki's gonna finally give Thanos the Cosmic Cube.
Why?
Because that was their deal all along.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
You think Loki's gonna die?
Probably.
I think he said something about like,
you know
this
what?
is, yeah. Like he said something a while ago about like, I might be getting to the end of my time as Loki. I think that'd be a good way for him to go out, though.
It would, like, because he's kind of come all the way back around and redeemed himself a little bit. Like, there's a couple of things here and there, but he'll try to pull something. But like by the end of Ragnarok, he was still on their side.
One of my favorite parts in Ragnarok was when he was talking.
Spoiler alert.
Whatever. When he was talking to Thor, and Thor was like, he was talking about one of the times that Loki tricked him when he was a kid.
Yeah.
He's like, because he knows I love snakes. Like it's so I'm here holding it as a snake, because Loki knows I love snakes.
That's a good call. I think you're right. I think 100% Loki dies. Like Loki and Vision are the two that, like, right now I'm like they're the two that are gonna die in this movie.
Yeah. So Loki,
you have to kill Vision if Thanos is gonna get.
If he's gonna get that stone.
Yeah.
Does Vision dies without that stone, right?
That's the stone gives him life.
Right.
You know what? I think he's gonna die, but I'm really hoping they'll find a way to bring him back. Because he died in the comics, but he came back. Like, I don't know.
Well, everybody does.
Yeah, everyone does, but they'll figure out a way to do it, like some way to power him. That's why I don't want Tony Stark to go anywhere.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. Captain Mar-Vell. Variety reports that Jude Law has been cast as Dr. Walter Lawson, a.k.a. Mar-Vell, the original Captain Mar-Vell. So he is going to be in the movie, the Kree superhero known as the original Captain Mar-Vell. And he's going to be like a mentor to Carol Danvers, Brie Larson's character. Jude Law, that's good casting. He's a great actor, but you don't see him as much in these big blockbuster movies. He's starting to do that a little more now. He's going to be in Fantastic Beasts. He's going to play Dumbledore. And now he's going to be in the Marvel universe. I mean, what else was he in? He was in the Sherlock Holmes movies, right? That was Jude Law, right? And he was the bad guy in fucking, what was that? The King Arthur movie.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, it wasn't great. I didn't hate it. It was I don't know, it was worth watching at a dollar theater. But yeah, like I like him. I think he's a good actor. So like I like just whenever they add good actors and stuff in these roles and stuff, because I don't know much about Mar-Vell, but I know that he was the original Captain Mar-Vell. So like I think this is probably going to be similar to Ant-Man, where the movie is about Scott Lang, but like Hank Pym is in it.
Yeah, and
they're going to do a similar thing with that, where he's going to be the mentor thing. So by all means, I'm all for that.
you also didn't see the Wasp in.
Well, I don't think the Wasp is. From what I've heard, the Wasp is not going to be a part of Infinity War. She's going to be in Avengers 4 because Ant-Man and the Wasp comes out after Infinity War.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Keep going. I'm going to double check.
Well, you can double check, but I'm right because I've done.
Oh well, in that instance.
I guess I'll
just take your word for it instead of.
Well, yeah, because I was bummed out about that because I want her to be a part of that Because A, first of all, more female characters in there. B, Wasp is one of my favorite characters because she was an original Avenger, and I just love the Janet Van Dyne version of the character in the comics, and they're gonna have Hope. She's not gonna be quite the same character, but the Wasp is a cool character and stuff to have. But they're saving her for the Ant-Man and the Wasp for that to be her origin as Wasp. So yeah, it's basically the next movies are Black Panther, then Infinity War, then Ant-Man and the Wasp, then Captain Marvel, then Avengers 4. And so Avengers 4 is where she's going to be involved. And same with Captain Marvel. Like, I think they might tease Captain Marvel in Infinity War, but I don't necessarily know she's going to have a full-on appearance. Maybe. And nothing more than, like, a cameo.
Okay.
Probably, I mean, nothing for I'm definitely thinking there's not going to be something as significant as, like, Spider-Man's role in Civil War or anything. Mm-hmm. I'd like for it to be, but I don't think it's going to be. I think best case scenario, post-credit scene. Because we haven't seen her origin.
What
Most
do you
people
think the
don't know who
post-credit
she
scene
is.
for this is going to be?
For Infinity War?
Yeah, like, what do you...
No, I mean, I think that's what it is. I think it's going to be Captain Marvel.
Okay.
Like, setting her up. Because she's the next big solo thing. Yeah.
Like, so the Avengers 3 is Thanos. Is he also the main guy in Avengers 4 then?
I believe he's in it. So, I don't know. What if he wins?
He could.
If it's like it used to be part 1 and part 2 of Infinity War, and just they said that's not the title anymore, but maybe it's still kind of what it is as part 1 and part 2. Mm-hmm. And I think they lose in Infinity War, and because there is a theory that there's going to be some time travel stuff involved in Avengers 4, because on set they've noticed a lot of like flashbacky kind of stuff. Like, I think there might be some World War II stuff, and I think there might be some like, I think there's a flashback to the Avengers, like the end of the Avengers with Thor and Loki and stuff, because like they're like there's set pics of them in the exact same costumes they wore, like with Loki and those things on his hands and like that thing over his mouth.
That's
like
interesting.
Yeah, and like Tony Stark in like the exact T-shirt with the heart thing, which he doesn't have anymore. So like, I think there's going to be time travel involved. Which I'm thinking, what's this big time travel related story?
You thinking about House of M?
No. Well, House of M is it's Scarlet Witch started it, but it's all about mutants.
She doesn't have that ability in this one, though, does she? The reality
they haven't really gone into like her hex powers, because that's what her powers are in the comics. Is like she basically, somebody can try some shit and she can just fuck it up, like say. But that's the thing, she's a big weapon against Thanos. He has that gauntlet. He can try to do something, and she can just use her hex powers and mess it up. But I don't know how they've established what her powers are in this universe.
You think Mantis would be able to put his ass asleep?
That would be cool. And that's kind of all she does. Like, I mean, as far as
that's
what
a
we've
good
seen,
one though.
It's a good power.
If she can get close enough to him.
Like, I would love... That's actually pretty cool. Like, a fight scene of everyone's fighting. She's just, like, reaching out and touching people and putting them to sleep. Like, if that was her only ability, that's pretty cool. Like, it seems kind of silly, but thinking about it...
Sleep.
Yeah, it's a kind of cool ability to do in the middle of, like, people are swinging at her, and she's, like, ducking and moving and, like, matrixing and, like, doing all this stuff and just kind of boop, 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 touching people and making them fall asleep. It's a cool power, actually.
Does Star-Lord not have his abilities anymore? Was that a one-time deal?
Yeah, I don't think he's a god anymore.
Damn. Would have been a little bit useful.
Yeah, what if... All right.
So now he's just like a dude?
Yep.
Damn.
It's like Civil War, like when they're like, does anybody else have any secret hidden abilities?
Like, I used to.
I'm a god. That'd be helpful.
It's like, oh, bro, can you take care of this real quick then?
I was like, oh, me too. All right, one last news story that I want to talk about. This is odd because I don't know a lot about this character other than the one appearance he's had in a movie.
Batman?
Not a good movie. James Franco is going to produce and star in a Multiple Man movie.
He was in a movie?
For Fox.
The character was?
The character of Multiple Man was in X-Men The Last Stand, I believe. Remember? He's like the multiplicity kind of... Basically, he just split and create kind of clones of himself. Yeah. And everything. He was in, I believe it was X-Men 3.
I very vaguely remember that.
James Franco is going to produce and star in it. This is from Heroic Hollywood, the description of the character, because like I said, I don't know much about him, only saw him in one movie. But he's part of the X-Men universe. Multiple Man born Jamie Madrox is a mutant character with the ability to create instant duplicates of himself. His abilities first emerged moments after birth when the doctor slapped him to get him to breathe. You know, like when they spank the baby's ass. It's weird. It's a weird thing to do, but I guess it has its scientific function. But this time when they did it,
I think it's if like the baby will have some kind of something in its throat, and you smack him, it makes him scream to get him to start breathing. I don't know.
Yeah, I know it's got its purpose, but it's just a weird thing to do.
Well, I mean, at least
like when you think about it,
slapping him in the face.
Yeah, we don't know that. But anyway, they slapped him to get him to breathe, immediately creating an identical version of the infant. Mm-hmm. So like when he was born, he had his powers, which is kind of unique for a mutant. Usually they develop them at puberty. Mm-hmm. His family moved to Los Alamos to a remote farm in Kansas at the suggestion of Professor Charles Xavier, a friend of the family. So if they follow that part of the story, we could have Xavier in there. We could have James McAvoy's version of Xavier make a cameo. That would be cool. Mm-hmm. A friend of the family, where Madrox was fitted with a particular suit designed to control his powers. I do remember something about that in the comics where he had a suit that, like, kind of... Maybe without the suit, he would just be popping up duplicates over and over, and so they had the suit to kind of contain it. Later, a character named Damian Tripp of Singularity Investigations offered to raise the boy as his own, believing that Jamie is changeling. Mm-hmm. I don't know what that means. Changeling is... I don't know, maybe he's thinking Jamie is a different character, a different mutant. It says, though his parents refused the offer, they are later killed in a tornado believed to have been caused by Tripp, and Jamie begins to run the farm with his duplicates until his suit is eventually damaged. So it's kind of an interesting origin story.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't know enough about the character, but, I mean, it's strange to me. Like, yes, Wolverine deserves his own solo movies. He's most popular X-Men character, and hands down. Mm-hmm. Yes, Deadpool deserves his own solo movies because he's a awesome, fun character, and he was done so horribly wrong. So to see him get that retribution of coming back and being a good character, that's awesome. Mm-hmm. And Gambit, I don't really much care to see a solo Gambit, but if they're gonna do one, I mean, I get it. Gambit's a really popular character as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, Multiple Man is one, like, that's down the list. Like, Magneto, They were talking... Back in the day, they talked about when they did Wolverine, the plan was also to do a Magneto one, which I guess eventually became First Class, and that ended up working out really well. Because Magneto is one of the, best characters in the X-Men universe. There's so much to that character's story.
Very complex.
Yeah. And I think there was talk about doing a Mystique movie, which... God.
Please don't.
Yeah. Mystique's a fine character in the comics, but I'm not big on
Mystique out. Why was she
version.
always naked in every movie?
See, that's the thing I don't know. In the comics, she always wore like a white dress or something. She can control the clothes. If she can morph
Wouldn't that just
the
be
clothes.
Uncomfortable?
Yeah. I don't know.
Germs? Right?
Germs?
Right, like all barefoot walking around, stepping on stuff?
Yeah.
That's gross.
I don't like being barefoot in the shower. Like, I always wear shoes.
That's gross.
Yeah. There's a lot of characters that I would have done a solo movie. Let's talk about that. What X-Men characters would you like to see have solo movies? Top of my list, Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
Most X-Men, I feel I'd rather see them as part of a team.
Yeah, that's kind of the tricky one.
Yeah. But I would like to see a Nightcrawler Adventures. You know, it'd be cool, like a Cable solo movie where it also has Jean and Scott as his parents, and you see like that history and backstory there.
That'd be a good one.
That'd be kind of cool. I wonder if they're gonna go into that at all in Deadpool 2.
I mean, he'll ask him like who's.
Yeah.
Or that'll come up, I think.
Maybe they'll hold that off and just because
that'll be a throwaway joke somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe Beast, but you've kind of already got his deal.
Got a lot of him, and I was glad. That was one thing I like about that trilogy. Is Beast is one of my favorite characters, and they didn't bring him in until the third movie, but they finally got to flesh him out a bit in the prequel trilogy. Mm-hmm. I guess, which is now becoming more than a trilogy with the next
maybe
movie.
Storm would be a good one if they do it correctly. Mm-hmm. Because that's a big ability to have.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if you're going down that road of solo movies, Gambit does make sense. Like, he's one of the more popular ones, and you can do a lot. And they haven't mined that character for what he's worth at all.
No.
He was in the one movie terribly. God. What do you think about Channing Tatum playing the character?
It's fine. I like Channing Tatum.
Yeah. I hope he nails the accent. Like,
that's the tricky part.
The accent is imperative for me. Mm-hmm. Like,
the other one didn't have it, though, did he?
No.
Just didn't
No.
bother.
I don't think that guy's a bad actor, actually, but he's in a lot of bad movies. Or movies that don't do well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think I've heard a lot of people say John Carter's actually not that bad, but it was just marketed horribly. I've never seen it. My dad liked it a lot, but he's a huge Edgar Rice Burroughs fan, and Tarzan and John Carter were like his jams. I can't think of any other X-Men that I'd want to see solo.
What about Jubilee?
Just that's the low. Like, that's, you know what? I'm actually really looking forward to a multiple man movie now. All right, so as I said at the beginning of this episode, Steven and I have been incredibly busy lately. So what we did is we recorded a long episode. I'm going to split it in two. This is a good stopping point because next week when we come back, you're going to hear us talk about some new comic book TV shows like The Punisher and Runaways on Hulu, and the Crisis on Infinite Earths on the CW, the Arrowverse crossover, and we finally hear Steven's thoughts on Justice League. He finally saw the film. So come back next week to hear what he thought about that, what we thought about those shows, and all that good stuff. Alright, as always, if you like this video, subscribe to our channel on YouTube, like this video, leave a comment, all that good stuff. Subscribe to the podcast on iTunes and leave a review. Let us know what you like. Help us out, help people find the show. Follow us online on Facebook.com/TheAmazingNerdiverse, on Instagram @AmazingNerdiverse, and on Twitter, I am @Jeff_Grant, Steven is @StevenTukert, and we are @NerdiversePod, and go to TheAmazingNerdiverse.com for all that and very little more. And until next time, for Steven Tukert, I am Jeff Grant, and we'll catch you right here next time in The Amazing Nerdiverse. Hit 'em!
And scene.